We're heading to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania to AC Products to pick up the front bumper plug for our 928 wide body project. It's going to be a big piece in putting the front end together on this project. We've really been looking forward to this for a while and can't wait to see what it looks like and can't wait to see if it fits. The bumper plug was carved out of foam on a 5-axis router and then coated with resin, refinished again, and now we're going to fit it up, hoping that our 3D scan was exactly what we needed to get the exact right part. We're here at Advanced Composite Products with Carrie Hitt to pick up our bumper plug that they have prepared for us, and then they're going to make the part.
We're really in the business of shapes,
right?
Is what it boils down to, and we can make anything with composite materials. From the beginning of time when man started making things, you know, humankind would use basically wood, stone, or metal. With the advent of the composite materials, there is a myriad of possibilities because you can combine epoxies, different resins, you can use different fibers. They even have basalt, which is volcanic rock. It's fiber made from a volcanic rock.
Back to making things with stone.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? I didn't thought of that. That's a good point. Yeah, and you can make anything. You know.
Yeah. Well, we're glad you can do it because, yeah, it's exactly what we needed for the front of this car.
Yeah. Oh, it was a whole lot better, and the results, like we talked, the first half of it is perfect.
Yep.
It's whatever you make it to be, but then when you try to match the second half, it just takes forever.
I got in trouble again. I took all my Inksols home. These are the every day having Inksol in my pocket going home bag of Inksols because I go home, I go, oh, there's an Inksol in my pocket. Coffee table, and then I go to bed, and then they pile up. And then my wife says, bring them back to work. So here they are, in my little lunch baggie of Inksols. So these fenders I hand shaped from aluminum, and they are just roughed in. And with them being roughed in, it actually means that they are a little rough. I want to go through and do some planishing work to clean up the metal work. And also, I oversized these fenders so that I can cut them down later to fit the original fender into the scribe lines to cut well later. I think it's time to cut them down. I oversized the top and actually chose to flange over to lay on the fender. And I've been thinking about it a lot lately, and I think I'd rather actually cut it back to the peak of the original fender and weld to the peak for many different reasons. One being it'll be structurally stable, so when I weld it, it won't warp around as much. And two, it's gonna be less metal work to clean up this to make it super smooth on a brake line when I don't really actually need to do that in the first place. So I think that's step number one here. We're gonna put the tape line, we're gonna cut it back, and then we're gonna stay back and look at it and go from there. It's always good to start big and cut down later because you can't just easily, you can add material. However, the more material you add gives you a lesser product in the end. So I'm gonna pretend that went in the trash can. I have a feeling this first cut is gonna be way too far up. I'm gonna have to do it again, but I'd rather do that than cut it too short, which I'm gonna keep saying over and over and over again. If I haven't stressed this enough, that's how you should do it. I love this thing. This isn't even like an ad right now. I love this thing. Plus, then you can just go EcoFlow over and over again.
And we do.
And we can really be the Pearl Jam. We really are the pearl that was jammed. Yeah, and we do. You're right. If like the lift ever falls on me and I'm in pain but I'm not dying, grab the camera first and then help me. As long as I'm not dying. And even so, I mean, there's a window there, right? I really think it's super stretched. I feel better about this.
have a hood here for a Camaro, for a Trans Am car. This is carbon fiber and Kevlar. It's basically a composite. The process here is vacuum bag molding. Right here with this part is actually a hood that we made. It was involved in a crash. We have a service for our customers where we take, as you can see, there's a lot of good part here left.
So all the black
hood.
is the
All
old
of it
original
is
part.
the original, right.
Yep.
And where the white is there was damage here, so we've cut that out. And what the guys are going to do is lay up the pieces, put it in here, and bag it. Again, what that does is repairs the part. You're going to have no additional weight. You're going to have the same strength that you had, and it'll save the part. And as racers, we know that money is
That's what keeps you
money's
going
the
around
key.
the
It
track.
keeps you going around the track.
Yep.
Exactly. They're getting ready over here to do the pre-preg. We pre-impregnate the part on a table to get all the excess resin out, rather than buying what they call pre-preg, which is very expensive. They make it, they freeze it, has to be shipped frozen, has to be stored frozen, it runs into money. We just do it right here. And the milled fiber sort of does the transition. It gets the real sharp corners because you can't get the fiber to bend in the sharp corners. So
Right.
we want to get good quality and not have air pockets and stuff there. That's why Zach did that, and Chris is doing here now. Everything has been laid up. You can see it's wet, but as I said, you're going to get about half of that there again.
So how much working time do you have?
Put it on the bag. Once the bag is wrapped around it, then they have to seal it.
Yep.
That's another thing. This is a room temperature cure. Again, as we discussed, if you have a super strong 300-degree cure carbon fiber pre-preg, and you have a room layup pre-preg, you hit another car or hit the wall, it doesn't make any difference.
My thermistor and heater cartridge showed up for the 3D printer because the printer broke over the weekend. I'm printing parts from the slant nose center grill out of carbon fiber PETG to temporarily have a grill mocked up because the one we resin printed warped because the resin was recalled and it was bad. Did you love when that stuff happens? You put a bunch of money into something and then the fluid's bad. Whatever, doesn't matter. Anyway, so I printed one of these grill pieces over the weekend and it went great. And then when I came in Saturday to start the next print, the printer kept saying that it could not heat up. So either my thermistor is bad or the heater cartridge. So we're gonna rip it apart and fix that.
Fun.
Yeah, it's always something, right? So now we're gonna jump to the back of the car. There's some things to address. Bottom bracket behind the wheel is not done. You can obviously tell that. This side, as you can see, we have some clay work done. And it's hanging on for dear life because we've been pulling this car in and out and whatnot. This metal piece here does not flow into the quarter panel at all. I'm gonna take this off. We're going to stretch this out so it can actually reach here, which might end up being hammer and dolly to bring out. If I can't get it to work that way, I will probably do a little slice here, pull it out and weld it and whatnot to get it to cooperate. And then we're gonna actually tie this all together, all nice and pretty like with some clay. Right now from about here to here, needs to splay out a little bit. I think I might be able to just stretch it out with a hammer and dolly. Sliding a dolly in behind here and just hitting it until it goes to where it's supposed to be. I really, really, really wish I had a handheld planishing hammer. That would just go a lot quicker. As I suspected, this side has the same problem the other side had. Remember I had to reflange that? Cut off that little bit of flange that's locking it in. I can really hammer and dolly it out, stretch it where I want it, and then flange it by hand. We're just just like bite into a bouncy ball before? It's not as satisfying as you expect it to be. The way that they're cast, they just crumble to pieces.
Bite into one.
Yeah, like they look like they would taste that. Maybe not taste good. They would feel good on your teeth, but no. I made this flange tipping tool out of a piece of scrap we had. I just cut a slot into it. So now I can tip my new flange. Slide it in, just bloop, get it started. On my line there that I can kind of see anymore. Get my flange broken over. Then I can hammer and dowel it to finish it out. So handy. Take a piece of rod, put it behind here, tack it, and then we'll have a good base to clay over. All your base are belong to us.
So I was thinking that maybe we could actually set the plug up against the front of the car, but that's not going to happen. So we'll take measurements, make sure it's going to fit. We're going to do all the surfacing to the front bumper, give it back to them, and then we're going to fit up the final part.
Is that a problem? Now it's clay time. This is an automotive design clay that's made from an oil-based substrate of some sort. This stuff's awesome because you warm it up a little bit. Sometimes it's a little too much, depending on how you're warming it up. Like now, where it's a little melty there. You don't want to be melty. But you warm it up a bit, and it becomes soft and pliable, like this. All nice and smooshy. But then, when it cools to room temperature, it's hard, like this. It's like a foam almost. So I'm gonna go through here and work out the profiles. The goal is to get this thing ready to be 3D scanned for the rear bumper work. We're gonna make a whole rear bumper that wraps around here, I think. A nice cut line. To do that, it'd be helpful to have it done in clay so we have the exact profiling we want. We could jump straight to CAD and then end up with something that isn't what we want, but it most likely was what will happen. That's why I'm not a fan of going straight to CAD off of some drawings. So instead, we're gonna do it my way, or the way that we've established is good for us. And I'm gonna pack this thing with clay and then we're gonna shave it down. You don't want to dry, weird meatloaf that has like weird things added to it. Like, oh, I thought I expound upon the meatloaf.
Like, don't.
Legacy here. Like, bro, no, it's just like, this is a thing. Like, you just don't change it, right?
Put olives in it or something.
Oh, God. Nothing worse than something ruined by olives. Yeah, they're like dirty eyeballs. Like dirty fish eyeballs. I think I hear Tony out there with the bumper. It's totally not staged.
And
Whoa.
this,
Look at
Brian, is a bumper plug.
I know the smell of resin.
Oh yeah, the whole inside of
But that
of the
dry
car
velvet
smells
nice.
smells like fiberglass resin, which I happen to love. I'm sure it's not good for me, but I like it anyway.
There's worse things. Let's get it out.
Look at this. It's like mounted on this wood. It's almost like a prize bass that I caught.
I was gonna say, it looks like a taxidermy.
Yeah.
Piece, hang on.
Yeah, like,
Oh my
look.
gosh, it's heavier than I thought it was.
Look at what I caught. This way?
Yeah, sure.
That's crazy.
Wow.
That's substantial.
So this is the plug that we have to resurface and all that stuff. I should probably already told the camera. I really hope this fits right.
Yes. So
I'm not, and that's not a knock on their work. I mean, it was a 3D scan with a cheap 3D scanner. It was a lot of things that could have been lost in translation.
budget 3D scanner.
Budget. That's a good.
Yes.
That's a good word.
Hobbyist level.
We have a hobbyist level 3D scanner, which we will eventually upgrade when it makes sense. So we did that scan off the clay work, and it was mirrored across. We did half the clay work. There's so many things that are variables that could all be a buildup of tolerances, which we talk about a lot here.
Yes, we
Look
do.
at his face. He loves when I say that.
I love when we talk about build-up.
He loves when I adopt his phrases. This looks awesome, though.
Yeah, it really does look like a trophy the way it sits.
Did they
I
talk?
mean, honestly, I want it to be a piece of furniture when we're done. Just put it back there yet. You've
Yeah,
got
you
like a
can-
cushion here, and
You'd have a couch.
yeah,
It'd be like a race car bed, but
right. But just a couch.
I do want to do one measurement real quick.
Yeah.
I think take
yeah.
measure from this corner to that
That
corner
one.
and see if
Yeah.
it matches
Yeah,
in
at
the
least
car.
if our scale is right. Yeah.
I'm happy with within like a 1/4 inch, I think.
They were working to, I think, within 10,000ths or something of an
Yeah,
inch.
but
like
10,000ths
that.
of our scan and
Right, no,
another
that's-
math. So
I
I
got it.
This looks incredible, and it's amazing to be like, yeah, I made this out of clay, and now it's like a legitimate plug.
I made
too.
half of it out of clay.
Yeah,
Right,
you're right. I made
yeah.
half of it out of
Right,
clay.
yeah. And it wasn't this smooth.
I hope you get a splinter. A resin splinter. And I think we're okay.
Okay.
Look,
Yeah.
I think
we're
it's
on the back side.
I think we're close enough. A
And
little
we-
bit of contouring at the end, it'll be okay.
Well, and we left the front edge of that unfinished so that we can work it
make
into
it fit.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Yeah, no, we're close.
Yeah, we're close enough there for sure.
I don't like the word close enough as much as I like close. Or
Yeah,
the word's
well,
close enough.
You'll
as much
have
as
that
I
on
like
these bigger
close.
jobs. It's done. Let's see if I can pop this thing off without breaking anything. My supports usually are pretty dialed in. Not to flex or anything, but I'm afraid of these supports right here the most. Here, there you go. Ready? You ready? Oh, well. Pull the supports with it. Show. Wow, look at that. I even pulled it out between the
Wow.
thing without breaking. I'm not the flex or anything, but I get really good support settings. The only thing that did not print correctly is back here. It's supposed to be a half moon shape, like so, right there, and it fell off the support. Not a big deal. We can glue it. After all, this is just a mock-up piece. Needs a little bit cleaned up on the backside, as expected. Look how clean that came out. It's like satin. Now we just need another 36 more hours to do the other two. And we'll have a whole grill.
You ready for this? Our 3D printed lens mock-up.
Ooh.
Crispy.
Look at that. Another
Mm.
confirmation of scale and perfection.
Yeah. And I even, the lens isn't perfect because it's two pieces that are just melted together, so they're not like they're fully square to each other. But still, look at that.
No, I said it was perfect already. Like,
You can tell it's not perfect.
Right,
perfect.
yeah.
However, it's perfect enough.
You couldn't tell it from the other side of the internet.
If you're new here, you probably are wondering, why am I putting clay in this car? Because that's why. That bumper started out as half the front of the bumper in this car being made out of clay. We take that We scan it, go through the whole process, and end up with a milled bumper. And that's what we're gonna end up doing in the back as well. This Indian, they're gonna send us a plug, we're gonna finish it out, and then they're gonna use that plug for the final mold. Then we'll have some baller carbon fiber bumpers on this car. People have recommended I use spring steel for doing some grading to this. I haven't gotten the chance to actually get spring steel tools, but I do have spring steel rulers. They count, right? The goal for like the scallop is to, I'm like talking like this. Yo, bro, the goal here, bro, is like for real. I want this scallop to exist because I don't want this to be slab sided, but also because we're taking the bumper and we're wrapping it up to the wheel where the OEM bumper would just terminate here. I want pieces that kind of overlap. So it's not like this is a chunk, this is a chunk, but yeah, there's a little bit of overlap here, but we need to like kind of think of things interlock. So it kind of all works together and doesn't look segmented. And something like this, less is more. Like, I could spend all day making louvers and all these cool ductwork and everything else that would look awesome on this, but it would just be way overwhelming to look at. So the goal here is to make it look subtly cooler, you know? Like, yeah, this is a giant piece here, so we can kind of accent it a little bit and let that be like a feature for the corner here and not have more in your face, you know, like other like openings over here, something like that. Because there's too many openings, it's gonna look weird. I think we're treading that line very well so far. It's a hard line to tread. And obviously, all this is subjective. I mean, it may look great to us, but someone else is like, that's terrible. The comments will say that sometimes, so everyone's allowed to have their own opinions. Should this be the thumbnail? Like,
Definitely.
I think so.
Well, we're ready to go to the swap meet.
About ready to get a shower out of this gutter.
Unfortunately, that means we're not taking the 928.
I'm a little bummed. There was work that needed to be done anyway, but we did stuff to prep for this weekend, and one of the biggest things we wanted to do was bring the 928 and the bucks and the new bumper plug and all these things to bring and talk with you guys about in person and answer questions and all these things. We'll still be there. We'll still be able to talk to you guys. We will answer questions, but we won't have a 928.
No bare metal in the rain. We will, however, still be speaking on building cars.
As of right now, that time is at 1:30.
As of now.
That time keeps changing.
We'll have the slant nose there. We'll have our Gia Boxster.
His 914 will be there. We'll have the Porsche buggy. We're gonna have a good time. You know, it's gonna.
Yep. And we have a tent, so if you need a place to get out of the rain and you're at the swap meet, you know, we will accommodate.
Roger will also be there if you want to take selfies with him.
Yes, Roger is making appearances. He does not sign autographs, however.
No. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you were at the swap meet, thanks for coming out and saying hi. Otherwise,
tell us something cool you saw there.
Ooh, yeah, what he said. Comment down below what you saw and what you liked at the swap meet. Also, check in next week because we'll be working on the 928 again.